Hi, welcome. Today we are looking at a parable from the book of Matthew, chapter 25, the parable of the talents. Now, the way of God is the design and the fulfillment. As a man going out to build his house, he made the design of the house. Then he built the house according to that design. And when the house is completed, it becomes the fulfillment. The way of God is exactly the same. He gives us this parable. Each parable is a design because he hides the actual and real and more important spiritual lesson behind the parable. And so every parable that Jesus speaks, we need to figure out the spiritual meaning, the spiritual lesson behind that parable. So today we will look at that, the spiritual meaning behind the parable of the talents. First, let us read it. For it will be as when a man going on a journey called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Now after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he also who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you delivered to me 2 talents. Here I have made 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He also who had received the 1 talent came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you did not winnow. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours. But his master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not winnowed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has the 10 talents. For everyone who has will more be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness. There men will weep and gnash their teeth. So we are given the design, and today we look at the fulfillment. So this man going on a journey and called servant to entrust to them his property. This man is Jesus Christ. He goes to heaven, but before he goes, he gives skills to each person. He gives to each person. So one will get 5, one will get 2, one will get 1. So God gives us accordingly. And we may have 1, we may have 2, we may have 5. Whatever we have though, we can multiply it to make more. And so in each of us that are given, we all have the same thing, the ability to multiply it. And so this whole parable is about multiplying heavenly treasures by the means that God gives us. Whatever God gives us in our life, we use it to multiply, to make our spiritual body richer, to make more heavenly treasures. And so we are given life, to be alive. We are given faith. We believe that there is heaven. And we are given all other skills that is part of our physical body. Some people have really good intelligence. They can get PhD degrees. Some people are given the ability to speak well, convince the crowd that there is God. Everyone given different ability. I know myself, I'm not intelligent. If you to ask my IQ, I will not tell you because it's very low. I am not a very smart person, but God gave me a small thing that I use to multiply my spiritual treasures. And I am good at cooking, and I use that to glorify God. So I cook various type of food for my family, for my children and husband. I can cook African dish, I can cook European dish, I can cook Asian food, I can cook Vietnamese food, I cook Chinese food, Indian food, I cook variety of food, Italian food, Australian food. So I'm good at cooking. And what I use that to multiply my heavenly treasures. So for my church, there are like international students. I invite them over to my house. I cook for them and we enjoy a yummy meal together, delicious meal together, talking. And then I also organize like an outdoor activity. I go bushwalking. I do all kind of bushwalking, coastal track, bush track, all sort of thing. So I invite them. I pick them up from their house, and give them maybe a cup of fruit to go along and keep them company, and then bring them home. And then I also invite them to pray together with me, share some Bible together. And that's how I multiply my pounds, my talents, because that's what I have. I don't have, PhD. I don't have anything special, but I know what I have and I can do all that. I have the ability to do that. It's all within my reach. And then I also have a job, a full-time job. So every time I get paid, I set aside a small amount to give to the poor, because I know that Jesus said, when we give it to the poor, we are giving it to Him. So every time I get paid, I set aside an amount to give to the poor. And so I also asked a few friends to do the same. I said, give it to me, I'll send it over, overseas to some poor country. And I set it regular so that every month my friends donated to me like $50, and then I collect all the amount, I send it over. And so I do that, and I tell Jesus that, Jesus, that's my love for you. That's my love in action for you. So I care about international students because they are here, they are studying here, and they have, no family around here. So they need a little bit of, support. Just a meal to eat together, going outing together. And That is my kind of multiplying my talents. And Jesus, he is not just a son of God who do nothing. We look at Jesus from heaven, he's so contented and happy with God the Father and with the Holy Spirit. If Father said, oh, son, Jesus, the earth is a dark place. And Jesus, sorry, Father, that place, oh, rubbish, I don't want to go there. Now, what does that say about Jesus then, But Jesus didn't do that. Jesus said, yes, Father, I will go down to the earth. I will light it up. And so that's what Jesus did. He came to us, in humbleness. He teach and preach and heals. And he died on the cross for us. He done all that he can as the Son of God. Creation was created through him, for him, and in him. He done all that he can to glorify God the Father. So as me, as a child of God, I do all my best to glorify Jesus. One of the important things that I want to share with you today is that many years ago, as a child growing up until I was married, have all my children, all those years, my heart never moved for Jesus. But then the Holy Spirit came upon me, and I love Jesus with feeling. My heart, my actual physical heart moved with love for Jesus. In our world, our heart loves. It's love physical things. It loves the people around, the parents or the children or the spouses or the girlfriend, boyfriend loves. But does it love Jesus? So you need to ask that question. And so once I was given that, I treasure that, and I use that to multiply my talents. In my prayer for, I love Jesus with feeling. For example, if I think of Jesus, like John the Baptist said, I saw the Holy Spirit descend upon him and remain with him. So I imagine in my head the Holy Spirit upon Jesus and remain, because Jesus is so perfect. So then I have that feeling, love for Jesus. So in my prayer, I love Jesus with feeling. In my actions, I love Jesus by helping international students to make them feel a little bit better. Give them a meal to eat, take them out, social outing. So I enjoy the social outing as well, but I also can claim that to Jesus, that Jesus, that is my love for you in action. You loved God the Father in action. I love you with my action in the way that I can with my ability. So I am not good at other things. I'm not good at making money. I don't make too much money. I make little money. I give Jesus little money. And so that is that's what we can do. And so I share with you the book from the Old Testament, where God said that he will give us a heart of flesh and take out our heart of stone. This is Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 26. A new heart I will give you, and a new spirit I will put within you, and I will take out of your flesh the heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. So this is what God promised. Now we claim it. In our prayer, we ask God to give us a heart of flesh that loves. Our whole body is created to give God glory. So we can use our hand to do things to glorify God. Jesus was a carpenter when he was on earth. He carved things. But I cook. So I use my hand to cook. We can use everything that God gives us to glorify God. Whatever we have, it doesn't matter. In our world, some people are so intelligent, but when you are not intelligent like me, you can also multiply the talents. No worries, because God look at us differently. And I share with you this important verse that I always share with you, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 40 and 41. There are celestial bodies and there are terrestrial bodies, but the glory of the celestial is one and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For star differs from star in glory. So the glory of the star, moon, and sun are heavenly treasures God gives us, but often we don't know what we have. When you have a good relationship with God, I invite you to ask Jesus what you have. You know, whether you have 5 talent, 2 talent, 1 talent, God gives you. So God could give you all 3, the glory of the star, moon, and sun, but God could give you just the glory of the star. And you want to grow, you want to ask God to help you to receive 3, fullness, because we are living in the fulfillment time. We are meant to receive a lot of the heavenly treasures. Jesus inherit everything that belongs to the heavenly world, and Jesus shared his inheritance with us. The glory of the sun is the glory of God. This is what Jesus, when he was transfigured, his face shone like the sun, his clothing dazzling white, his hair as white as wool. That whiteness is the glory of the sun, and not everybody can get. You got to have, fullness of the Bible. You have to do the fullness of the Bible to get it. So we ask Jesus what we have. I have good relationship with God. I ask God whether I have this and that and that. He tells me. So we don't have to be really well-to-do in this physical world to earn the glory of the star, moon, and the sun. We earn this by loving God with feeling, loving God with actions. And my actions are simple, but I enjoyed it as well, because if I cook for my friend, when I cook for myself, I enjoy eating. I love eating. And I go outing. Yes, obviously, I enjoy outing too. I love being outdoor, enjoying, nature. And so those are the very simple things that I do, but I multiply my talents. If God call you to be a priest or a pastor, you are actually called to be a businessman, and you can grow and become extremely rich. I am called within myself to multiply my talent. Every single one is called to multiply the talent, because we're all given something. Whatever we have in our life, we use it for the glory of God. And we don't know, we can seek, we can ask God, Lord, how may I glorify you? How may I love you in action? What would you like me to do? Simple thing like that. So this parable today emphasize the fact that each person who follow Christ can be very rich, spiritually rich, with the glory of the sun, the moon, and the star. These are like, in our world we have silver, gold, and diamond. It's kind of like that, but in the spiritual kingdom, the heavenly treasures. And so if we are serious about God, if we're serious about our spiritual body, and we want it to be, healthy and strong and well, we need to multiply our talents. Imagine you have a bank account, and once it's activated and you have a job, every fortnight you get money, you get salary into your bank account. God also, you have an account with God. You are spiritually alive, you have an account with God. And God give us accordingly, not exactly the same time as the salary. My salary coming exactly the same time every fortnight on the same day. But God is different. God look at the whole aspect of our life, everything that we do, and He will give us accordingly. And so no worries, whatever you give to the poor will never be lost. Whatever you being kind, compassionate to others, never be lost, because God will give you heavenly treasures. So the parable today is encourage us to be rich. Even if you're not smart like me, you can be rich. So I encourage you to connect with Jesus in your prayer. Ask for a heart of flesh. And then knowing that, loving Jesus in feeling, loving Jesus in actions. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me.